anyway,
So,
isn't it, really? So,
Cheryl's is an interesting one. Where I'll say Cheryl's is interesting, because when she told me about the penny farthing incident and all this about in this lifetime, I thought, oh, it'll probably be that her cell memory remembered a past life. But then when we actually checked out, you know, whether she went into regression well or whatever, what I realised was that this was attachment. This wasn't actually a past life Cheryl had actually lived. This was someone who'd attached to her at a very, very young age. So it would seem like it was her life, because it was probably before she started to speak.
So like a spiritual limpet type of thing.
Yeah, it's sort of that kind. I mean, it's all in a typical day's work for me, so I'm sort of quite used to it. But I know that people at home, this will be quite a new thing for them to take on board. And for a lot of people, it's a new concept to take on board. Now, these attachments can happen at any age, at any time. It doesn't just happen in childhood.
They're not necessarily malevolent. I mean, it's not something that if you think, oh, I've gotten it. Abigail seems to be a very sweet little girl.
Yeah, I mean, vast majority of them are fairly harmless, but they will try and sort of... The reason they've attached to someone is because they had things they'd like to work out on sort of an earth level. So they will have things they'd like to sort out through you. So sometimes they're influencing you, but ultimately your personality is much, much more dominant. But there will be subtle sort of influences, like, you know, the fear of penny farthings.
And so the cutting loose of little Abigail, who I felt quite sorry for, being told that she wasn't required anymore, on your way. Does that make you feel any different? Do you notice...
I used to have nightmares about a little girl. And I couldn't see her eyes. They were always bright white eyes, and that used to be really scary. But I haven't had any nightmares or anything ever since.
Do you know what? If it helps you, you'll forgive me for being utterly sceptical, but if it actually has helped you, then, you know, what can you say? But,
and that's the main thing, you know, if ultimately your life is improved because of
and there's
this,
no side effects,
you know,
and are you slightly less sceptical now, Simon?
Slightly less sceptical.
I think Simon and I are on the same wavelength.
You give us a shout. If she says sorry, that's not a very good cup of tea, you give us a shout.
I'll give you a call, don't worry.
Thank you. I have a feeling we'll be back to Entities. I have a feeling that's not the last we've heard of them. Thank you all very much indeed. Now, if you would like the chance to be regressed, then write to us with your details and the reason why, of course, to This Morning, Regression, 17 Hatfields, London, SE1 8DJ. It's competition time now. How would you like to be mortgage or rent-free for a year?
We're going to give you the chance to win your mortgage or rent paid for a whole year up to the value of £20,000.
Now, to be in with the chance of winning, all you have to do is to complete the title of this famous music. But now, it's time for Regression, and today it's viewer Carol Simons. Now, Carol wrote to us with a bit of a bizarre problem. On 6 separate occasions, she has tried to visit Scotland on holiday, but every time something happens that prevents her from getting there.
Her father, unfortunately, had two, not one, but two heart attacks. Her mother fell ill, her cat went missing, and all of those things resulted in her having to cancel her holiday plans. Then the last thing, she thought, well, I'll get in the car and I'll drive up to Scotland. But just a few miles from the border, her car broke down. Is it just a coincidence, or is there something more paranormal preventing her from going north of the border?
She mustn't go to Scotland.
Why mustn't she go to Scotland?
She mustn't go to Scotland.
Why, though?
Because it's not good.
What's not good about going to Scotland? Lots of people go there.
Carol mustn't go.
Why mustn't she go?
There's a man there.
A man there? What kind of man?
Not nice. I mustn't go to Scotland. Please don't make me go to Scotland, please.
Now, that was Carol under Regression with Andrea Foulkes, our therapist. Now, Andrea, that wasn't a regressionist, was it? That wasn't a past life talking
No, that
there.
was sort of an attachment. I mean, this was an interesting one.
Hang on, that was
for me.
sort of an attachment. What does that mean?
Well, she had a lady sort of like who had a little bit of an influence over her called Sarah, who was almost forewarning her not to go to Scotland as well. But the Scotland thing wasn't really linked to that. It was linked to a past life, which we'll see sort of later on. But this was an unusual one even for me.
Well, now, hang on, because I'm going to be very, very sceptical here. You're suggesting that some people, we're walking around in this life, and a person from a previous life, not our own lives, but somebody who's had a previous life, attaches themselves to us and affects our...
Can have little subtle influences sometimes over people. I mean, this lady was very much forewarning her not to go to Scotland because of some sort of, you know, terrible man. But when I looked further, it was attached to her past life, a past life that she remembered, and we'll see the full drama of what happened in the past life.
Well, we'll check that out now, because it seems extraordinary, and is that quite common, that one of these entities that would connect itself to you would also be telling you the same thing as you would find out in your past life?
That was interesting, that they seem to have access to that information. information, usually they've got sort of their own information and their own ideas for what they'd like, you know, a person to be doing. Sometimes there's more than one. I mean, it's not, in my situation of obviously seeing this in a private practice, it's not unusual. I know it's shocking to people at home and to
as
you.
well. I mean, is it a kind of, are you suggesting people being possessed? Or?
No, well, I mean, you can happily live with them. Forever you'd probably not know they were really there, though, you know, but I like to help them on their way to their own sort of appointed place and, you know, allow them not to hang around too much.
Well, this is your theory, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So shall we have a look at the main regression? We'll look at Carol's story, why she was so scared to go to Scotland.
My name.
Does a name come to mind or not?
It's a silly name.
What's a silly name?
It's Charlotte.
It's a nice name.
But they call me Charlie. And I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
Do you prefer to be called Charlotte?
Yes.
Shall I call you Charlotte?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware of how old you might be?
I'm 19.
What's happening?
I'm by a river. And there's this man and he's making people go on this boat.
And where's the boat going to take them?
Across the river to an island, and they don't want to go to this island.
Why do they not want to go to the island?
I don't know. It's not good. Bad feelings. I don't want to go to the island. Please don't make me go.
Where's this island?
Please don't make me go to this island, no.
Where's the island? Charlotte, where's the island?
In Scotland. Please don't make me
Why
go.
are you so scared?
I don't want to go. Please don't make me go.
They're not going to... Just tell me where the island is.
It's in Scotland.
What have you heard that's made you think that it's not going to be...
prison on this island.
Oh.
And I haven't been naughty, I've been good. Please don't make me go on it.
So what's happened since you were 19? What's happened in those last 7 years?
The man. I don't want to talk about the man.
Tell me about
the man that brought me to Scotland.
What's happened with him?
With my gold dress on. It was him in this room talking funny. And they were planning things. Remember I told you they were planning things? I don't want to do it. Please don't make me do it.
Tell me what they want you to do.
They want me to steal things.
What things do they want you to steal?
Money, jewellery.
Who do they want you to take these things from?
People.
What kind of people? Rich. And how do they expect you to do this?
They just want me to do it because man says I've got to do it. Otherwise they'll kill me. I don't want to die.
How do they expect you to take these jewels and riches from the people?
Steal them.
What, when they're wearing them or when they're not?
No.
When?
In their houses.
In their houses.
I won't. They can't make me do it.
And how do they expect you to get into the houses?
Because I'm thin.
Because you're thin. How do they expect you to get into the houses?
Through the windows and the doors.
Oh, through the windows and doors.
And the doors. Because I'm very, very thin and they're not thin. Very, very fat. Ugly. Ugh.
How long were you in prison for?
A long time. It was horrible.
How did you get out of the prison?
My parents, my mother and father came to get me.
You can see now that Carol could go to Scotland and that all those thoughts, feelings and emotions belonged to another time ago, didn't they?
Yes.
1, 2, lighter and lighter, 3, 4, lighter and brighter, 5, 6, coming out of it, 7, 8, eyes open, 9, 10, wide awake. How do you feel?
Yeah, all right. Bacardi and Coke.